concussion. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We came for one man, forget about peace. You take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him shots in the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys, not so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize, right guys, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan, if you wanna touch me, please use caution. Stop that, stop that, stop that.
Stugotz, I want to talk to you about Vic Fangio leaving the Dolphins for a specific reason.
Okay.
Because I have been, over the years that we've been doing this, I have been sort of exasperated by how fan bases who don't totally understand how any of this scheming works takes the result and either hates an offensive coordinator or loves a defensive coordinator. And I was sold on Fangs is the difference, even though all the numbers suggest that Fangs was hired to stop Josh Allen, and he doesn't know how to do that. Fangs was undone by injuries, but now he goes to Philadelphia, where they had linebacker problems because he wanted to be with his family. And I want to read you something because I believe we have a lot of people in the media who are covering football who don't know the specifics of how to cover what some of these human beings specialize in. There are more than ever who do know how to do it. The coverage is smarter at the top end than it's ever been, but most of the people talking on television about why your football team is good have no bleeping idea what they're talking about. They're just giving you general opinions of Dolphins are going to win because I think so.
Right.
So I want to read this from Chris Kaufman and ask you a question, because Mike McDaniel has been ahead of the curve, but just got sabotaged by injuries. I was told Fangio was going to rescue him because he's not a defensive guy, and now Fangio leaves to go bail out Sirianni, who had to fire his coordinators because he was drowning. And it's the only place where the wheels fell off more than in Miami. But he doesn't have to deal with Josh Allen over there. He's got a division he can deal with because there are no quarterbacks who look like Josh Allen in that division, and maybe he can win it, being the defensive coordinator over there. But this is what I want to ask you about Mike McDaniel, because it's not something I considered. And it's from Chris Kaufman. And it's a segment I like to call Reading, because it's been a minute. Whenever I read one of these long ones, you guys get bored and I lose everybody.
Long one here?
Longish.
Okay.
Certainly long for a tweet.
All right. I'll try to stay with you.
When Mike McDaniel got to Miami, according to himself in a long, revealing interview he did with Mike Silver last year, he started off by arguing against the personnel department about their desire to spend a lot of resources on an overhaul of the offensive line unit. He said, "You're wrong." He said the first thing they needed to do was surround Tua with playmakers, and he proceeded to show everybody in the building a 25-minute video to explain why. 2 years later, he called one of the top offenses in the NFL in successive years, and so he feels vindicated about that. Conversely, 2 years later, the team can't score in December or January and have still not won the first playoff game since the Clinton administration. One could argue the success of his approach has been a fractal of the success of the entire team, as well as the individual parts of the team, e.g. quarterback, which is to say good, but not good enough. The good news is they still have the playmakers. They're here. Tyreek is here. Jalen is here. Devon Achane is here. Mostert is here. We even feel pretty good about Jeff Wilson and Chris Brooks moving forward. They may still need a tight end that can actually function in both phases of McDaniel's system, helping with the third down offense in particular, but they're pretty close to ideal on playmakers. So circle back and fill out that goddamn offensive line now, please. It needs to be a multiplier on the options in your week of game planning, not a divider. How many people in the coverage of the Dolphins have actually been talking about, hey, Mike McDaniels, you might have the ego and reward of everyone saying you're the smartest guy because look at your scheming. You think you can make offensive linemen. You guys can run the ball better than anyone expected with whoever it is you put there. But in December and January, when you really need to run it, you can't, because your offensive linemen aren't what Philadelphia's have been or what Green Bay's have been or what Tampa's have been when they're climbing.
So you're saying the offensive line is important. And as fans, we don't pay attention to the offensive line because all we do is pay attention to the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, the flashy plays, and the flashy players. And you're right.
I'm not actually saying just the offensive line is important. I'm saying that the coach of the Miami Dolphins, who I believe in, has every reason to believe that he's the reason for that success. And if he comes in and argues with personnel on offensive line, he's got to be willing to change some things philosophically about what he's doing because everybody's been praising him for 2 years with good reason. And his offensive line needs to continue to get better, and it needs to do so with resources.
It's not being presented in a good faith, though, because he didn't say, I don't want to fix the offensive line. He said there are more pressing issues that they addressed along that defense, and the defense was undone by injury. They got Jalen Ramsey. He started the season hurt. They locked in Bradley Chubb. He got hurt. His backup's backup got hurt. He decided, look, I can make an offensive line. And you yourself just admitted that they ran the ball pretty well. Their offensive line was a good enough unit to win. What undid the season was the injuries on the defensive side of the ball. And I think Mike McDaniel was actually right to prioritize that side of the ball.
Agreed. But when they got Tyreek Hill, it was said that it's a piece away, and they just wasted the great Tyreek Hill year because injuries.
He's got more years in it.
Yeah, they were a piece away if they were healthy, but they got several of those pieces on defense got hurt. I understand the point. And it's astute, but it also ignores the reality of the NFL salary cap.
They gave up 56 points to Baltimore, to Mike's point. Like, I understand the offense wasn't great down the stretch and not in the playoffs, but the defense and all those injuries is where that team fell apart.
Stugotz, you will get zero disagreement from me on that. But I was saying it the last month of the season, and all Mike said back to me is Buffalo's injured too. The results are what matter. You are what your results are, and they don't win playoff games with McDaniel either. And so then that's where the pressure rises. That's where Sirianni has to fire his coaches. Like, it will rise next year on him. Even if the whole team gets hurt again, he could be the smartest dude in the league and be just undone by injuries, and people won't care that it's undone by injuries. They'll say, just you failed. Don't care about the nuance. Tyreek Hill was a piece away. That's what I was told. That's the final piece. Him and Fangs, that's how you beat Josh Allen right until the last game of the season when he comes into the stadium, and he beats you because you can't stop him, and then the defensive coordinator leaves, and now what?
I don't think Tyreek Hill came in as that missing piece because Mike McDaniel was an unproven commodity as a head coach.
All right, so Chubb is the missing piece.
Yeah, Chubb and Ramsey became the missing pieces, and they dealt with lengthy injuries.
They played for last year. That was championship or bust, and at the end, it's giant bust.
And they're going to probably have to part with some pieces that we all thought were missing pieces because as you look at the reality of Tua's upcoming contract, I think the NFL has kind of shown us that teams typically don't let those guys go. Not good enough for an elite contract, but that's the way that the NFL moves at that position. Too good to let go for nothing.
But don't you guys think he will eventually address the offensive line? He knows he has to. He knows it's important.
If there's one thing that I believe in a Shanahan offense is they get productivity out of that offensive line.
Forgive me, I feel like perhaps I'm not explaining the part of this point that I find most interesting because you're saying, don't you think he knows that? I'm saying, maybe. Because if you come from Shanahan and you believe you can make offensive linemen out of anybody, and their offensive line was good this year when they were healthy. But do you trust them to be healthy, given that we're talking about every week for 3 years now, we don't know if their left tackle's going to play.
The team, when Mike McDaniel arrived to it, needed a total revamp. I mean, they weren't, to the Tyreek Hill original point, not being a piece away. Like, we had no idea what that offense can do. And this is year 3 in his program, and I imagine with draft capital that they'll address some of these needs.
But Mike is right. They were several pieces away when he got here, and he filled in a lot of those pieces.
But they still haven't won. Playoff.
Yeah, and he's still figuring it out. Look, he's entering year 3, and he's about to have his 3rd different defensive coordinator.
They also last year went into the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills with their third string quarterback. Like that, the fact that it was even as close as it was I think a testament to what they were able to build because they lost by what? It was like a 1-score game. I think at the end it was close the entire time. And this year they head to Kansas City in horrific weather that they're not prepared to play in.
Absolutely agreed on all counts. But every time I mention injuries to you guys, the Buffalo Bills just lost a football game that's going to get Josh Allen mocked all weekend. And one of the reasons it happened is because their defense is really injured. And it doesn't matter. No one remembers that. Right. When you fire McDermott, that's not what people talk about.
Right. I think Kaufman laid out a fair criticism. Here's what I think is an even more fair criticism, because it's my idea, is he hasn't settled his staff on the defensive side of the ball. He came in as an offensive mind, and he trusted the incumbent his first year. That didn't work out. Vic Fangio, I think on the surface, felt like a weird fit. And that was a year two head coach taking a chance. Let me just give this entire side over to a legacy coordinator that has been in this league forever, even though stylistically, ideologically, it wasn't a fit. Hell, Javon Holland seemed pretty excited because he struggled to connect with his defensive coordinator. Here is a video from his IG, it's still up at the moment, of him literally kicking rocks moments after the news was reported that Vic Fangio and the Dolphins were parting ways.
What did that mean? Like, is he telling Vic Fangio to kick rocks? Is he telling the Dolphins to kick rocks?
Let's analyze this, because I don't know what it means, but I am here for athletes artistically choosing to, it's in the eye of the beholder whether this is a controversy or not. He has come out of his, I'm going to assume it's his home, and he's going to sort of the curb. Is that cobblestone?
That's the end of the driveway towards the street.
Is the driveway cobblestone? Is whatever that is.
It's a nice driveway.
He's got rocks.
I think this is your standard granite.
Lucy, can you?
That's not granite.
Roy, you're the.
Those are pavers. Different size pavers.
I don't think those are pavers.
What are those, Roy?
It's definitely stone, Dan.
No, those are pavers.
Regardless, he's got rocks from what I'm assuming is his rock garden. He takes 3 of them and then kicks them with his right foot. Now I ask you, Billy, Lucy.
It's a miracle he didn't get hurt.
Lucy,
the way this Dolphin season went.
Lucy, what does it mean that kick rocks? First of all, I have not expected anyone who was born at the time that Javon Holland was born to even know what that phrase means.
That phrase is coming back, let me tell you. I love to tell people to go kick rocks. Nice. I like the idea of him, like, I don't know if he's married or not, but like looking at his wife and being like, honey, I have an idea. Just watch this. And then walking out, picking up the rocks, being like, yeah, these are the right ones. And then filming the whole thing. That's awesome.
Lucy, do me the favor, please, and find me the origins of why people kick rocks, why people are told to go kick rocks. And I'd also like the group to come up with another phrase that's older than that for some form of go bleep yourself.
Pound sand.
Yeah. Pounding sand.
Pound sand.
Either way you look at it, it is Fangio appropriate.
Lucy's never heard
I've
pound
never heard
sand.
that.
Really?
Fly a kite. I mean,
Never heard that.
Oh, that's a good one.
No.
Javon Holland should keep this going.
Yes, for
he
sure.
should have another IG story of him pounding sand.
Yes.
And
Is
another
anyone
IG
worried?
story of him flying a kite.
Are you worried about what's going to happen with those rocks? Because, like, a car can kick that up. That breaks a windshield. That hits a little kid that's playing outside riding their bike. Like, you shouldn't just throw a lawnmower would be weird in the middle of the street. But to your larger point, I mean, you shouldn't just be throwing rocks willy-nilly. You know what I mean?
Another IG story idea, go fuck yourself.
I mean, come on, man. That's uncalled for.
Well, that would make some news.
That's not. I mean, what? How do you have him doing that exactly?
I mean, it's tricky.
That's less subtle than what we're talking.
It's been done.
Less artful than what we're talking about.
But is it older?
Is it?
I don't know. I'm asking.
Well, I don't know either.
I mean, Mike does it 5 times a day. I mean.
Okay, so
no, wait. I don't think masturbating is bleeping yourself, is it?
I don't want to answer this question.
Be a definition.
I found the definition or the origin of kick rocks, if we want that. Kick rocks comes from the times of the Great Depression when impoverished children would kick rocks around to pass time.
It doesn't explain what it is that it means, though.
Would you like to put it to a poll what that means?
I think we know what it means. Kick rocks.
Yeah, but why? So impoverished children are being told to.
So I think it means like kids when they were like needed something to do would just walk down the street and kick rocks. So it's like go kick rocks. It's like take a hike, buddy. You know, same vibes.
No, but I take
that's
a
a good one.
Another good one. All right, so let's put these all up on the poll. Older phrase. Kick rocks, go fly a kite. Mm-hmm. What was the other one? Pound sand.
Pound sand, go fuck yourself.
No, not. Not that one.
Hit
the road, Jack.
Yeah. Is he gonna have a video of him hitting the bricks?
Again, I will ask the question that Lucy was asking, which is, what does Javon Holland mean? Is he telling Vic Fangio to kick rocks, or is he telling the Dolphins to kick rocks because they weren't good enough to keep the organization wasn't good enough to keep Fangio around?
Let's not ignore that he is the person that's kicking rocks here. Maybe this is his goodbye.
I don't want to lose him. He's great.
There was one that I heard that I found very weird. I think it was Lethal Weapon, go suck an egg.
Really?
Yeah, I found that. Why are we doing that?
Lucy, have you heard any of these other than kick rocks?
No, just kick rocks.
But why have you heard that?
I think it's back.
It's made a resurgence with
People hit you
Yeah.
with that on social media.
Kick rocks, touch grass. Those are two popular ones right now.
Stugotz. I will get back to football over the course of today's show, but as soon as Mike Ryan, I'm going to call this the Josh Allen conundrum, because over the years I don't think I've been more wrong on any one athlete than Josh Allen, because every time I say he's good, he's bad, and every time I say he's bad, he's good, and I've been wrong 40 times on Josh Allen. Mike Ryan, as soon, and he's been untethered for years now of bloated Miami Heat ego. He tells Twitter, I raised you. I've been here since the beginning. And he flies all over the spectrum emotionally on his assessments of this team, which are informed but biased. And every time that he says they're good lately, they're not. And every time he says they're bad, they make him look like an asshole. And last night's loss was
3 games over 500 makes you look like an asshole.
Well, but you said four games ago that they were good, and and last night was the worst loss of the season.
I mean, well, what changed?
I mean, since you said they were good, they've lost 4 straight.
Yeah.
I mean,
Since I said that I think they're better than a play-in team, they have been winless. Yeah. So maybe I should have reserved judgment for just maybe one more game. Yeah, I got that one wrong. I apologize.
You've got
it
wrong.
Shit, though. This team is this.
Right.
They're super inconsistent. You'd almost rather them not be healthy. Weirdest team in the NBA.
What you need to do is say they suck, Mike. Just keep saying they're bad. They're lousy. Bad. Yes, they go on win streaks when you do that.
I was saying that last night watching that.
Okay, but this
after Terry Rozier really ran with that fresh start I gave him.
Minus 17 in 20 minutes, and that's going to take a minute. Amin and Charlotte will be here at the end of the hour to discuss some of this with us in detail.
Stick it where the sun don't shine.
That's a good one.
Take a long walk on a short pier. How about that?
Lucy hasn't heard any of
No,
those.
I heard the one Billy just said. I can't remember it.
Stick it where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know what Stu's talking about.
Isn't there now what was that thing that made that fad, what was it called, where you stick your ass up in the air and tan your ass? That
was presidential advice for COVID.
That is not the phrase I'm looking for.
No, that's what.
No, there's a phrase involved with
COVID prevention steps. Remember the scarf lady?
There was a popular time where people were sticking their ass up in the air and allowing
sunning.
No, there's a phrase for it anyway.
Yeah. Perineum tanning or something?
Thank you. It's close to that.
Yeah.
Perineum, something like that.
And then Trump told us to bleach our assholes.
Yeah, exactly.
What I was saying was, when you look at the 4 losses of the Miami Heat in a row, and I asked the audience to consider this, just coming off of the conversations, Stugotz, that we were having about, clearly, Mike McDaniel knows more about what he's doing than anyone listening to this and talking about it. And Vic Fangio knows more about what he does for a living than anyone listening to this or talking about it.
I'm sorry. Why did you bring up the tanning your butthole
Thank
thing?
you.
Because that's where the sun don't shine.
That's where the sun don't shine.
COVID taught us
the sun don't shine in your ass.
Well,
exactly.
No, but COVID taught us that it can, and it should.
Which part are you not understanding, Lucy?
I don't feel like we needed that explanation, you know?
Well, but Lucy, the phrase
contextually, I think it was
you had
Need the
heard.
details.
You knew what stick it where the sun don't shine, you knew where that was, correct?
Yes, I knew that.
And so the reason it triggered my thought of people tanning their ass with their legs up in the air, you can see why it is it would trigger that thought.
Dan's a serial truth teller. He's just challenging you.
Which part of this are
Challenge
you
the
not
norm.
understanding?
Yeah.
This feels like an intrusive thought that shouldn't have come out, you know?
That happens all the time with me.
I know.
Back-to-back weird setups for Lucy's appearances on the mic.
Yeah, this is odd. This is weird times.
I want to go back, though, and ask the group this question at the risk of going too serious into sports as it regards the emotional assessments of the Miami Heat.
We're talking about tanning buttholes. We're not getting too serious into sports, I don't think.
What are you whispering in Stugotz's ear?
I told him that.
he-
I
I
didn't
didn't
want
want
to
to giggle, and then he was leaning back, and then we missed
Well,
the
because he
window,
knows
and-
me better than you do, Billy, and
Yes.
he's less interested
Yes.
in anarchy. I'm trying to
I'm
get
trying
to
to
the point.
yes, thank
Yes,
you.
and he is. You are giggling in the background. Let me do this thing through Stugotz that enrages Dan. And Stugotz knows, and you've lived there for 20 years, Billy. How have you not learned this about me yet? I'm trying to get to a point
Yeah.
about Mike's Miami Heat assessment. If you will grant me that Fangio and Mike McDaniel know more about this than us, will you then grant me that Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley, when they're willing to only trade Tyler Hero and only Tyler Hero for Damian Lillard, and you now see with Tyler Hero, they're 31-31 when the core plays. They don't like playing players who aren't good at defense. He's not good at defense. They just got Terry Rozier to be more efficient at what Tyler Hero does than Tyler Hero's been. Do you not realize that these people who run this organization, who know what they're doing, seem to understand that Tyler Hero as a third piece needs some help because they've got a sample size that's large enough now that to make their team better and allow it to age after Jimmy Butler, they need to get better pieces while staying under the owner's luxury tax because the owner runs it like a business. Mike wants him to spend all the money on get everybody, but they don't want to be paying Damian Lillard at 36 years old $60 million.
They don't want to pay full stop. The move for Rozier also got them under the luxury tax threshold. And I do agree that they've realized that they need something better out of that 3 spot, which is why they pursued Donovan Mitchell. They pursued Bradley Beal. They pursued Damian Lillard. They failed at all of them. They pursued Kevin Durant. They failed at Kevin Durant like a record 4 times. They've addressed the concerns in that they attempted to acquire people and they failed. And we've gone from Kevin Durant, Donovan Mitchell, Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard to Terry Rozier.
Dan, we acknowledge, we know. Of course they know their needs. They know what the team needs. They're experts. They're spending all their time poring over all this information. We understand that. We're still allowed to question them.
Oh, but Stugotz, I'm not even disputing that. I'm just saying that when the people who are doing the questioning are less informed than the people being questioned by large leaps and bounds, and I can always take injuries and just destroy your entire blueprint.
Yeah.
Like whatever genius you have, I can wreck it with load management or Jimmy Butler doesn't want to play today.
Quite honestly, I think I'm sitting on a 20 at the blackjack table, though, when I say they need to get better. And the names that we're discussing are Donovan Mitchell and Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, and they pursue them. They fail, and you end up with Terry Rozier. I still think they need to get better.
Do you understand that that can be the analysis for every sports radio show in history about talking about their team is they just need to get better, figure it out. Through injuries, through firings, they just need to get better. That's all we're saying.
Well, I think
the fan base is always saying just that, get better.
My issue with the Miami Heat is that they used to be really good at getting better. Yeah. And they've been striking out plenty. This is not new. At a certain point, like this becomes a reality.
But striking out.
But, Mike, they got Jimmy Butler, and they got
finals.
better.
They got to the finals.
Yeah, but there's one thing holding them back. Every time they get to the finals, there are players that are on the other side that are much better.
Yes, be better than LeBron. Yes.
Just a little better,
Be
though,
better
Dan.
than Anthony.
Right.
Yes,
But
be-
it's
yes,
championship
Jokic.
culture, not Eastern
Right.
Conference
That's right. Championship or bust.
culture.
Eastern facts.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to wander around the earth, and I'm going to go to every human being that lives on it, and I'm going to say to them, be better than Jokic. I'm finding only Embiid. And maybe. Like, I'm scouring the earth.
So get
On
them.
certain nights.
I mean, you found them, just bring them over.
I'm scouring the earth for be better than Jokic. And I'm finding no human beings 0. And you lost to that in the finals.
You're asking me to cave on an argument, and the argument is Terry Rozier. It's a hard sell.
I'm not asking you to cave. Go bleach your asshole. The amount of shame I am presently feeling.
You should.
I know. Like Stugotz has been standing over me, okay?
Laughing.
The way that Grant Williams tried to stand over Kevin Durant last night, and then Jurkic came over, and there was a shoving match.
Are the Suns your new Tampa Bay Rays?
Throughout the break, Stugotz was screaming at me, and he's right. Like, I'm just ashamed at this point.
I mean, you had every possible way to end that last segment. Pound sand, go kick rocks, stick it where the sun doesn't shine, and you went with bleach your asshole? I mean,
I'm getting worse at this. I had the dismount. You guys gave me 17 options on the dismount.
we spent a segment on it.
There were so many, and I was going to say go bleep yourself, but then it came out as go bleach your asshole, and that doesn't make any sense.
No one's ever said it.
That doesn't make any sense.
You just created something new, Dan.
Yeah, but it's.
It didn't feel wrong when you said it to me.
Well, but think of all that. Which one would have been the best one? I had the dismount. You gave me a dozen options.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're overthinking it.
Go bleach your asshole.
I mean, was that a direct order? Like, is that a grid of death punishment? I don't.
You weren't thinking of all the choices he had that we just discussed. He went with bleach your asshole?
Yeah, I got the Urify. I'm sure it works down there.
Let's do that as one of the punishments. Roy.
Yes.
You have been laughing throughout the entirety of the segment.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. This will ruin me for the rest of the show. I just told the audience to bleach its asshole. Why did I do that?
I thought you were asking Roy if he was okay because he was laughing.
I want to make sure Dan has gotten over this properly. I mean,
it could have been worse. You could have been president of the United States telling a whole bunch of people to bleach their assholes.
Make like a tree and leave.
Oh, hey.
Didn't Fonzie used to tell people to sit on it?
yes.
That's risque.
That's really risque now.
That's
Right?
the
Like in the
1970s.
What were they sitting on back then?
The toilet?
No.
No?
Was it like, was it
think-
a double entendre back then?
I think it would, yeah, I believe.
I
believe sit on it
Yeah.
Was something being stuck up your butt, not sitting on something
with Happy
like
Days,
a toilet.
I always think
His
Happy
thumb.
Days,
I mean-
because it was a period piece, I always think Happy Days was in an era that it wasn't actually in. So they could have actually been more risque.
I think sit on it it's not just a toilet seat. I think sit on it meant that the audience was understanding that it meant something was being inserted.
Didn't he tell Mrs. C to sit on it, and that's like where the line was crossed, and then Fonzie stopped
I don't think
telling
anyone
people to sit on
ever.
it?
I don't think
I
anyone
think Fonzie
ever
No, I
told
think he
Mrs. C
did
to
it,
sit
yeah.
on it, and
Yeah.
then he realized I crossed the line, and then he
Right.
went on and made Despacito, and then
Mr. C wanted to kick him out of the house.
Yeah.
I think
Is that
was
what
right.
happened?
Yeah.
I do hope that Javon Holland listens to this segment and starts putting up these
Please.
IG stories, because I keep refreshing, hoping that he's putting something
No.
up his nose with a rubber hose.
Let's do this. Kugler, please reach out to Javon Holland's people. He's been on God Bless Football. You should listen to God Bless Football this week because on top of Austin Eckler, if you go into the archives of God Bless Football, you will find Billy trying to wash dishes with Peter King.
Yeah.
That's stupidity, but it's all
Yes.
the same.
Forgive me. And what was happening on God Bless Football, because you had video and audio I wanted to go to there.
Well, so we had two things come out today. We had a God Bless Football come out today. We have a God Bless Football coming out tomorrow. The God Bless Football that came out today, Cam Newton is going to help me pick out my outfit and accessorize for my daddy-daughter dance that I have tomorrow. And we hit it off, and Cam was very helpful in what I should wear and how I should accessorize it. Then on Stupidity that came out, and a God Bless Football that I think is going to be on TV, Peter King was there, and last time he was on, we bonded over a shared love for washing dishes. So we said, you know what, let's wash dishes together, and then I was the only one washing dishes.
Peter, I want to ask you about the scene. Billy, you're doing a great job with the dishes.
Thank
Peter,
you.
if you have any comments at any point during...
No, I like him. He doesn't slough it off. He's got very good... and I like the fact that he cleans the back of the dish.
Yeah.
Because, you don't eat off the back of the dish, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to pick up the dish and maybe there's a little piece of fish or some piece of crap there on the back of the dish, and it's objectionable if you touch something or it's oily or something like that. So, yes, you've got to clean both sides of the dish.
Well, and then I'll stack the dish on a clean dish. So if it's dirty, then it'll dirty the clean dish. So
Yeah.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Nice.
I can't believe we're doing this with Peter King, who's very busy. It's a very busy time for him.
I'm not busy. I don't do anything.
Stugotz, I'm a little frustrated with God Bless Football.
Why?
Because I was promised a seance with Don Shula. We have not yet gotten.
That
and
we're working on.
We're
that.
working on it,
Yeah,
yes.
I asked the witch. She said she was considering it.
Right. She's a friendly witch.
I can't strong arm a witch.
you can get other people to conduct seances. Like there's not
No,
a
this
witch
is our
in the world.
witch. We are loyal to Rosalind. She's a friendly witch. She joins us during all the holidays, Valentine's Day, Halloween, Christmas. I mean,
I'm frustrated because God Bless Football has not yet delivered a promised seance, and I am frustrated because I was promised that Peter King was going to be washing dishes with you. Why
Yeah.
was he not washing dishes with you?
Well, we weren't in the same place, and I thought he was going to be at his sink, and then he was not at his sink.
we all expected Peter, when he came on the Zoom, to be doing what Billy was doing, which is standing in front of a sink, ready to clean dishes, playoff dishes. We teased it. We talked about it. He laughed. He loved the idea. When Peter appeared on the Zoom, he was not in front of his sink. I mean...
Correct.
What do you want me to do? Tell a Hall of Famer, get in front of the sink?
Oh, I just don't. I mean, forgive me. You promised me that both of you were going to be washing dishes, and so I don't know how to produce Peter King. I'm not familiar with how it is one produces Peter King, but somebody needs to help Peter King get produced there.
He did give good analysis on the.
Well, he gave
He broke it down.
He gave better analysis. This is a Sports Illustrated legend, right? So let's get this guy talking about the desecration of the brand of Sports Illustrated on God Bless Football.
The bottom line in this is there isn't a Sports Illustrated now. There's not, it doesn't exist. If you are going to look back 50 years from now at the Kansas City Buffalo game and you want to read something about that game, what are you going to read? I'm sure that maybe you could find some old internet clip from some site, but there isn't like a body of evidence like the SI Vault to be doing this stuff anymore. And that is the saddest thing of all. We are losing the ability, as one person said, who wrote to me this week, where's the next Frank DeFord? And are we ever going to be able to have one place for great writing? I'm just sad because there are so many people who, there are 3.1 million homes that went into when I was working there. And there was no bigger thrill than opening the mailbox on Thursday and me opening the box thinking, man, I got to see how my cover looks this week. It's euphoric. It's just a high of highs. And look, that's a selfish thing, but I'm thinking for America, you're really going to miss what was the magazine of record and the best sports magazine of all time.
Peter King, I salute you at the end there, the last 30 seconds, for being poetic and eloquent and emotional. But the first 30 seconds were shit. Just total shit. Where do I go read about the Kansas City Buffalo game?
Thanks for the sell, geez.
That analysis not as great as the washing of the dishes there.
Mike was laughing. Peter King, we brought in a
I'll read his article.
We brought in.
If only there were places to read on the internet. I mean, Stugotz is still building out top fives from Bleacher Report slideshows from 2008. The internet is forever, Pete.
Don't reveal my source.
He needed to gather steam, and he got good at the end of it, but he really limped in with his defense of a dead brand.
In fairness, Peter did tell us that he takes a nap every day, and that interview was conducted right around nap time. So
Maybe
it's
why
possible.
his producer couldn't get him to dishes.
Yeah, I do agree with one point, and I would like to know where the next Frank DeFord is.
Well, our Frank DeFord, please go into our library right now. Do you remember, Stugotz? It's been 15 years since we talked to the fake Frank DeFord. And for those of you, Lucy, do you have any idea who we're talking about here?
No.
All right, so let me explain this to you.
Do you know who Peter King is?
Yes.
Okay, good.
But only from television, right? Not
Yes.
as a writer. Okay, so Frank DeFord was the original sort of regal sports writer who wrote really intellectual, elegant shit and carried himself like PBS. Like he was a gentleman scholar. He would wear a suit and he would write these ornate things, and we would make fun of him with the fake Frank DeFord because he was a little pompous and self-serious and great at writing. Indisputably great at writing, but he looked a little bit ridiculous and he talked a little bit ridiculous and he had a ridiculous mustache.
It's that time of year again. No, I'm not talking about my annual nude run through the Arizona desert. Watch out for those cacti. Of course, I'm talking about baseball's spring training, when the crack of the bat brings me back to a simpler time, when a man could wear a fedora, a wide purple lapel and pencil-thin mustache, without people thinking he's on his way to a Gone with the Wind costume party. Yes, this time of year, hope springs eternal. You dust off that old leathery mitt with that great musty smell and toss the hardball around, reliving the great moment from the past. Suddenly, you're back at Yankee Stadium or Ebbets Field and running like Jackie Robinson.
What was that first word there? Roy, I meant to get to you 10 minutes ago because I wanted more research on what it's called to have your ass in the air bleached.
We're going back to this.
Yes. Well, Roy, speaking of how to produce either Peter King's dishes or this show, yes, if there's an asshole in the air being bleached and I need more information on why that was a fad, yes, I would like for one of my producers to be looking this up for me.
Perineum sunning is what it's called. Perineum sunning.
Shailene Woodley did this because I remember it was like a big deal. And I was like, girl, maybe some things we should just keep to ourselves.
Roy, I don't think you're reading that correctly. I don't think that's how that's said.
That is how it's perineum.
Perineum?
Perineum sunning.
Okay,
yes,
that's
perineum.
So it's perineum sunning, and why was it popular?
Still looking it up.
Okay.
He's getting to it.
Yeah, it's a source of vitamin D.
It is
Some vitamin.
not.
Yes, the sun.
The sun is
Yeah,
a source.
vitamin D.
Yeah, there you go.
The greatest source. What
I
do you
agree,
mean?
I agree that it's a source of vitamin D. I'm not
I think you're
agreeing.
gonna have to walk that one back.
Sunny D.
Yes, it's a source of vitamin D. What I'm disagreeing with is why we would need vitamin D there. That's what I'm disagreeing
Well, it's the
with.
quickest way to get it inside.
You take it where you can get it.
Go bleep your asshole.
Bleach. Bleach.
He just spent the break yelling at me again. He's just like, why don't you just say, stick it where the bleach don't shine, you idiot? Like, how can you not get one of these endings right?
Pound rocks.
Fly a bleached asshole.
Just start mixing them all.
That's right. I mean, what do you mean start? What do you mean start? Roy has told me during the break.
Go fuck your bleach.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hey.
Always subtle, Stugotz.
Sorry.
Always got to take it a step further. Could have just left it where it was.
Yeah.
It was fine. I was ashamed enough. You had to bring your special brand of making me feel more ashamed because you can't do subtle. Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Is subtle a tool in the Stugotz toolbox?
No.
Roy, you have told me during the break that this perennium tanning or sunning has 6 other alleged benefits. Is one of the benefits that area of your body needs vitamin D?
Yes, that would be the first one. The other 6 include improved mood and mental health.
Come on.
Circadian rhythm regulation, so it helps you sleep, apparently. Natural skin health, enhanced libido and sexual health, balanced hormones, and naked grounding balances your nervous system.
I need all of that. I'm going to have to do this.
All right, then.
But I don't believe that I can get it that easily. These things that I need, these nutrients that I need to sleep better, to have less stress. Think about what we're saying. You're alleging that the key to mental health is throw your ass up in the air and let it sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I would think that then there's also like, not to get too into it, but if you get a sunburn, then it probably has the opposite effect. Right?
Well, that's one of the risks.
How about this, Billy? You will find this not surprising at all. Thank you, Lewis. For the first time, you know what? Hold on a second. Meadowlark Media needs to be celebrate something here.
The internet's forever. Don't do.
No.
Okay.
Oh, standing ovation for Lewis?
All right.
Okay, here we go.
For Lewis,
I don't know. The way that this has been going lately, once he stood up, I'm like, Jesus.
I'm a little
not
concerned
like
that he has
this.
direct contact to you.
Well,
and I hear him, and I told him to stop that.
well, no, but here,
Both of us, by the
hold
way.
on. You guys don't understand what I'm celebrating, and I wish for all of us to
All right,
celebrate.
standing up here. Here we go. Yeah. All right, very good. Good job, Lewis.
What are we clapping for first?
Yeah, what are we clapping about? What are we clapping about now?
We have been paying video for a long time. I believe we've just reached a seminal moment where video can be helpful. Billy, I'm going to tell you how and why. Because the bit of information I'm about to give you.
Don't show a video of someone bleaching their butt.
No, I'm going to do that at some point in the show back here.
No.
Bleach your butt?
Anything for clicks.
Oh.
Billy, Lewis just said to me, Tony has done that. Perineum tanning. Tony has done that. It is the first bit of valuable help that I have gotten in my ear from video in 2.5 years doing this. As I've gone straight to hell crazy in front of everyone's ears. And my mental health is decomposed in front of you as I'm trying to get video up to speed on what we're doing because we need to grow as a video company. That historically is the first bit of information that has ever arrived in these ears from video that has been helpful to me doing the show.
Way to go, guys.
And not defense against me doing the show.
All right.
Now, if only we could get Tony to edit a podcast.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Unnecessary.
A little inside about your bitterness and your resentment because those 2.5
Well, it's a
years.
lot inside.
My mental health has also been affected by, yes, Tony, so that Billy doesn't hate you even more than he ever did.
Hate is strong.
Edit a podcast. Yes, pay some dues on editing a podcast.
You can watch Tony do nothing for 15 hours tonight, starting at 5 o'clock, by the way, on the show's YouTube.
Tony, get in here. Is he here? Is he
He's
just
not.
outside?
He's not.
He's not here.
He's not here.
So the comment wasn't as helpful as you thought, because now we can't do anything with it.
Oh, that's too bad.
No,
Call
please,
him.
no. Let's call him. Get him, Lewis. No, you think I'm going to let this go, Billy? You and him
I really
being
hope so.
Like a dog with a bone on this.
you and him being able to make magic together because you don't actually like him and he doesn't actually help you enough. And he's doing a 24-hour I get the YouTube feed tonight because why not? I'm Tony, baby. Why shouldn't I get the feed tonight and just have everybody watch me sleep? I'm
That's
sexy.
Right. YouTube.com/at Le Batard Show.
Nice.
Tony on the air for the entirety of the night, beginning at 5 o'clock. Eastern.
_circa dash Las dash Vegas.
Let's not do that. Although that does afford me the opportunity. I know that the initial link was not only confusing, but there was also a link to purchase GA tickets for the Stadium Swim experience over there. All you have to do, if you're a fan of our show, is RSVP. You get free entry into Las Vegas. Now, some of you listening to this or watching this right now may have already paid $25. You should be getting refunded from the venue itself. If not, reach out to the venue, and they will be very helpful in ushering that along. We will be at Stadium Swim at Circa Hotel, February 8th and 9th. Reserve your tickets right now at circalasvegas.com/Le Batard. We have been blown away by the early signups. Now that there's 4 teams left in the NFL playoffs, some of you fans may be having an eye towards Vegas. Please make us a part of your plans, because we have been working on this tirelessly, and the venue is insane. It's going to be a fun time.
Stugotz, if I may, because I don't know if everybody here knows it, but this is a considerable expense for us to move our entire team, for all their hard work over the last 2.5 years, to be able to move everyone we've got for a week-long party in Vegas that can be disjointed. It's hard to move all of this, Stugotz. You have felt whenever I go to Los Angeles or New York by myself, like we move together or we don't move at all and the chemistry gets disrupted. We are taking everybody to Vegas at considerable expense because we want to reward everybody for the work that they have done here for 2.5 years in a startup. And we know our audience is going to catch us wherever it is that we land. And so I will tell you from seeing some of the numbers here that Friday is a giant day because people pour into Vegas. Thursday, we also have plenty of people. But if you want to go and have good placement and be near what we're doing, which is unlike anything we've ever done, okay? This isn't South by Southwest. It's not Gramercy. It's our whole crew going to party in Vegas with the people who support us the best. And every time we've done anything that resembles a Moss, every single time, the people who are watching what we're doing are like, why didn't I go? This is the one I was going to go to. And I'm just telling you that this is the biggest celebration of what we've done in 2.5 years. A giant wad of money spent on behalf of the entire company to reward everybody for we want to party with our fans. We want to enjoy the end of Vegas. I don't want to go to the Super Bowl, but the only reason we're doing this, we're not going to do it on Radio Row because that would be an unending misery for me.
Well, we are doing it on Radio Row, too.
I'm not doing it on Radio Row.
That's heaven for me.
No, that is heaven for Billy Gill, Stugotz, and God bless football.
I'm not going.
You like it too, Mike.
Wingo's available if you guys want him.
I've been on Radio Row twice in my career. I do like the hustle and bustle, but you guys own it.
All right.
So fun.
Billy and
Mad
Stugotz,
Dog owns it, just so we're clear.
Billy and well, I'd like the goal to be for you to take it from Jim Rome and Mad Dog. Like, I want to arrive in Vegas with a noise. I want God Bless Football to show Russo and Jim Rome, no, you're not boss here anymore on Radio Row. Stugotz is boss now of the most cliched, trite, commercialized horror event in the history of sports.
I can't wait.
It's been very helpful, so we thank them. Is that a sun behind you? No. See, now you gave Lewis a compliment.
no.
And now he's putting things behind you so you can literally sun your asshole on the internet, which is forever. Don't follow this.
Not according to Peter King.
You can say right now, given how the last 2.5 years have gone for me, that he is sunning an asshole right now by just putting that sun over me. Billy, where are we with Tony doing this? Because it's the most predictable and most obvious thing that Tony has done perennium tanning.
He's a mystery to me. I don't quite understand him. I don't understand what he does. I know he's doing, I think 5 o'clock until tomorrow morning. He's going to be there live. I got a text this morning.
Doing what though?
I don't know. I think best as I understand is him and Mike Fuentes are going to be here hanging out, and there's going to be a live camera, and you can watch that.
All right, listen to me. Okay, this is what I'm tired of around here. Okay,
and I got a text this morning saying, "Hey, I'm not coming in. I need you to handle the podcast." And I was like, "Lovely."
All right, listen to me. Can someone get control over something around here? Fuentes is dying to be on television, and he'll do so even if there's not a mic around. So we're doing Truman Show tonight. Yeah. And Tony and Fuentes, who are not quite that entertaining when they're talking, are now going to try and entertain people while not talking.
That's mean.
You're being very mean.
False.
Your tone is bad.
Yes.
I, for one, am very thankful that they're doing this.
That's a fine,
It's
by the
not
way.
an assignment anybody else wants.
$5.
It's not an assignment anyone else wants.
I also just I'd like to try to clear up what you're saying, them trying to entertain people without a microphone on. I asked Tony, what do you have planned? And he said nothing. So he's not trying to entertain people. There's just going to be a camera
That's
on.
great. You get 24 hours of a valuable YouTube feed. What do you have planned? Nothing. All right, great.
I think they said they were going to play video games.
All right, great.
People want to be a fly
And
on the
eat
wall.
dinner.
Experience
Great.
life.
Great. That,
Sleep
I'm
on
sure
the
There's no
couch.
better way
Great.
to experience life than hopping on youtube.com/Le Batard Show and watching two other people without microphones.
We did have a feed one time just focusing at the street with the promise of aliens.
Well,
So that's
There were a lot of people watching that.
here. I can guarantee you'll see 2 aliens.
Why are you laughing right in my face again?
I'm just waiting to see how you close out this segment.
Spread eagle, probably.
Do you not understand why I'm frustrated by what Tony and Fuentes are doing? They're going to
Of
work.
course I
You
do.
shouldn't be frustrated by this. This is all good. This is all very good.
How are we going to entertain?
It's something, dude.
All right,
It's on
no,
them.
but here's
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
this is what I will say to you guys.
Our standard for these things is really sky high. Most of these watch-alongs is usually just people sitting on couches doing nothing except going, whoa!
There's also TikToks that people generate actual salaries where people just watch them take naps. So maybe that's the lane they're going for.
You never know what kind of kinky freaks are out there in our YouTube audience, just waiting for a little glimpse of gotcha. If Tony bends down, shows a little ass crack, you've made steak sauce's day.
And mine.
I'm simply stuck, okay, on the idea of that is valuable real estate. If you have 15 hours on it, you have to do something that is planned to entertain people because they give us no greater gift than watching these stupidities that we do every day. We were in my father's ear yesterday.
What?
Yeah. Just wait till Tony and Fuentes do something that you have to apologize for, though.
Well, that's what's going to happen. But this is what I'm saying. What have we planned? Nothing except something that ends us. This is what I'm saying. It's not smart. Go bleach your kite, pound sand.
What?
What?